David, but let's take a look at an object what I got.
Nowadays, if you're having a cup of tea and you take a bit of sugar, all you do is take one of these hideous plastic spoons, white sugar, look, dunk it in, give it a bit of a stir up, lovely. Now that would not be acceptable behaviour in genteel society. Smart people in 1900 had their sugar in cubes. And if you had cubed sugar, you needed to have one of these jokers. I've picked up these solid silver sugar nips to share with you the beauty of their design. If you look at this semicircular piece here, it almost looks like a bit of industrial art with these rivets. It's very much turn of the century Jugendstil style. This is 1900 Austrian influence, and it's an extraordinary feature. I love the end of the nips themselves. Do you see that? They've been bifurcated. Further up, you can see more of this Viennese influence in the plunger part, and on the end, it says patent and a registration number. And all round, these nips are in good condition. What would a pair of sugar nips like this cost you? Out there in the fair today, they could be yours for £65. What might they make in a specialist sale? Well, they could bring, I don't know, £120, something like that. In fact, I think I might nip off and buy them. I'm in London today to meet a rather special bargain hunt guest who's waiting for me inside this building, the Linley Sambourne House.
Our guest is the great-grandson of Linley Sambourne, a Victorian cartoonist for Punch magazine. His grandson knows this house very well indeed. He is Lord Snowdon.
It's extremely kind of you to come here and join us at Linley Sambourne House today, which of course occupies a very special place in your heart, doesn't it?
Yeah, yes, indeed. I'm very, very fond of it. It's fairly chaotic.
And it has its special atmosphere, though, doesn't it, still?
Nothing's changed at all since my great-grandfather was here.
Your mother was instrumental in saving this house, though, wasn't she?
Yes, indeed.
Inspired by this house, the Countess of Ross formed the Victorian Society, along with a group of influential friends, in order to preserve Victorian art and architecture.
Don't forget, all Victorian things were very unpopular for a long time. And it was due to people like John Betterman and my mother to get it going again. And she loved this house. And it shows.
Does it have any special childhood memories for you?
Yes, it was always immensely gloomy. And it shouldn't look lit.
No. Of course, as your great-grandfather was a photographer, and you're a photographer, you know all about light, don't you?
I don't use them.
Don't use them at all?
Daylight.
No. Do you think there are any similarities between Linley Sambourne's photography and your works?
He was very talented. If some of that talent brushed off on me, I'd be delighted.
Well, I think it has done, for certain.
Sambourne took pictures of himself and his family, posing as the satirical characters he wanted to portray. He then used them to help create his famous cartoons. He used the upstairs bathroom as his darkroom to develop the prints, although Lord Snowdon remembers the bath for different reasons.
Oh, I love the bath. It's just slabs of solid marble. So what you had to do was you had to run it twice. Once to heat the marble, and the other time to heat your bum.
Do you have any favourite pieces in the house that you particularly like?
I wouldn't like to pick out one particular thing. I think the whole point of it is really being en masse.
Yes.
So if you isolate any, it doesn't work. Where do you get your tie from?
I've got hundreds of them.
Have you?
Yeah, I have, actually.
You always wear a bow tie.
Always, yes. I feel quite undressed without it.
Don't show me.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Great pleasure.
Thank you. Lord Snowdon's absolutely right, isn't he? This is the most extraordinary house. 100 years of multi-layered family history, all still contained in a building where absolutely nothing has been thrown away. And yet it's open to the public to be able to enjoy it in this fragile environment.